Today I want to show you how you can use seamless textures to build background images for your e-learning courses. So if you don't know what a seamless texture is, basically you have these tiles that are, could be a square or could be another texture where the edges match up. So for example, with this one, the bottom and top match and the left and right match. So in theory you could expand this texture infinitely, and it will cover whatever area that you have selected. There are other textures that are seamless, like for example this grass, where it might not match up on top and bottom, but you can get the left and right to match up, and you can expand it infinitely left and right. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways that you can use these, as well as show you maybe what a couple of those textures look like as well. So here are a couple of textures that I have on file. So a couple different carpet colors, a brick, some beveled glass, a fence, wood, grass, a couple different grasses, a gravel. And you can take these and then add these to a graphic to create an e-learning background. And let me show you what some of the finished product might look like. So here's a background that's kind of easy to understand. It's the same one as the sample before, where it's this plaid. And really all I've done is insert a shape. So let's go ahead and just do that. Insert shape. Let's make a square. Let's put it there. Let's right click it, format shape. And then we're going to go picture or texture fill, and we're going to select from file. So here's that green plaid that we were going to select. I choose that, and then you'll see it's really big right there. We want to tile the picture. Let me drag this somewhere where you can see it. There we go. And now if you want to control the size, you can just do the X scale and the Z scale. So you'll see as I go down, that makes the X a little narrower. Let's go to 50, and here it makes the Y go a little narrower, and you can just crank that down. And that's not quite what we have on the wall, but you can see how now you have this object, and no matter how far you stretch it left or up, that the pattern just goes ahead and fills that shape. It's kind of cool. Now let me go to this next slide. Here are two examples of the repeats. Here I have this fence, and you'll see if I go down, left or right, it really scales with that shape, and that's because I have a fence that has transparency in it, and I've filled that in there. So if I right click and I go format picture, and then I go to fill, you can see the file that I have here. And this one's actually the transparent chain link, but I could go to something else as well. And then you'll see as I scale it up and down, it makes it wider or narrower. And again, you can crank it up and down, and it'll follow wherever you go. Now the grass is also done the same way. It's just a, oops, let me go back there. It's just a square, and I've filled it with my grass fill, and you'll see I can make that grass as big or small as I want, and it just follows the shape. Now let me show you one other thing. Okay, I lied. Two more things if I have time. Here's one where it wouldn't scale. You'll see if I scale this up, it does two grasses. That's because the seams don't match on the top and the bottom. This one just scales horizontally. And so what I have there is it's a little snippet of grass that where the left and the right match up, and we can scale it as far as we want. And I'll show you what that file looks like too. So here's the grass. Oh, this is the one that I used that could fill a space, and this is the one that matches just horizontally. Now one of the other interesting things with this one, as the last thing I'll show you, is that here we've taken and filled with gravel this floor that they're standing on, and then done a 3D rotation to make it look like they're standing on it. So let me show you really quickly what that looks like. Okay, this takes a little bit of tweaking, but let's go ahead and do this really quickly. I'm going to insert a shape, and then I would fill it, and I would go to my picture or texture fill. Oh, it actually grabbed the right file, which was that gravel there. It's tiling it, that's great. And now I go to 3D rotation, and here I can just click a preset, and now that rotates the gravel, and then I can scale it up and drop it underneath my people, and it would look like they're standing on it. Well, I hope you found the repeatable seamless textures useful.